Hi, welcome back to Social Policy. This week we're actually going to continue on looking at social policy in 21st century. And in doing this, we're going to actually expand things and get a little international. And there's a recent interview I watched which kind of spurred me to want to move into discussing military policy a little bit in this class. So it's something that's out of the norm for this class normally. So I'm just adding this now this semester. So what we're going to look at is we're going to watch an interview with Rosa Brooks, and she's a professor at Georgetown University in their law center. And she has a really interesting background. Before being a college professor, she was a counselor to the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, and she was also a senior advisor in the State Department. So she has a very interesting view on policy. And the thing about her, about Rosa Brooks, is her policy is actually well respected by a lot of people who serve in the military now. So one thing you're noticing, I'm sure if you're following the news, is there's a big push to expand the military with more money and more responsibility. And there is some pushback from some of the top officers. They don't want this responsibility really. They want to actually focus on the military's core function of, doing what they've been doing before. So being engaged in war or security, but there's been a huge expanse to what their responsibilities have been. So there's been some major pushback on this. And so you're gonna watch her discuss the expansion of military tasks through time. So this isn't something that's totally new. It's been going on for a while. And one key question she puts out is what's at stake from doing this. So I'm sure you noticed that as a lot of politicians push to expand the military, they generally have to contract spending to other areas to pay for it. And what happens is you have the shrinking of other services that takes place, and it's there's a cost to this. So you're going to watch her video. This video is about an hour long, but you can get everything you need to answer the questions in the first 34 minutes. If you find her interesting, I encourage you to listen to the rest of it where they have questions and answers. But she gives you a little different perspective than what we normally cover in this class. And I think it's something that probably shouldn't be ignored, because expansion of military is happening, and, this is policy discussion these days. So you're going to watch this video, and then you're going to complete the Dropbox on this. We're also going to make sure you finish the discussion from last week. So discussion 11.1, make sure you have your 3 posts on 3 different days to have that done. That is, so that's going to continue with the discussion from last week. Also, there's one change. I initially was going to upload your own papers onto the discussion. We had a time crunch, and technology makes this very slow for me to do. So what I'm going to ask you to do is upload your paper that you turned into me through the Dropbox to as a discussion post to the papers discussion. So I do have those graded, but I want you to go ahead and put them on the papers discussion. What's going to happen over the course of the next 2 weeks, so through finals, I want you to read at least 7 of your classmates' papers and write a 1-paragraph response. It could be a short paragraph, but I want you to describe what you learned from the paper. And one important thing about this is I expect all the comments to be positive in tone and in substance. So I don't want you to take this as an opportunity to criticize each other's work. It's not an opportunity to say what you didn't like, or to even ask questions. You're just going to read what they wrote and put down what you learned. And what this is an opportunity for you to share each other's knowledge. In my face-to-face class, I have the students do a presentation, and in watching those presentations, the only feedback they could really give is, a thank you, but I want you to say what you learned from their paper. So you also have the opportunity to upvote a paper that you really like. So when you're reading these, if one of them really sticks out to you, go ahead and upvote the paper. You can go ahead and basically vote that you like it. And this will probably direct some other people to read the paper. But don't take this as an opportunity to upvote every paper you read. Just do the one that really sticks out to you, or maybe two that really stick out to you. So this discussion can take place from now through the finals week Friday. So make sure you have at least your 7 responses. I'm asking you not to ask questions because the people who wrote the paper are under no obligation to respond to you. You're simply just noting this to show that, yes, I read the paper and here's what I got out of it. So, they certainly can respond if they feel like it, but I would really, prefer you just stick to the task. This week by Friday, I will post a final discussion in Dropbox. So this will go up by Friday. It will give you an initial post that you need to do for your final discussion, and there's a very short last Dropbox that's going to be due for your final. So there shouldn't be any questions with this. It should be fairly straightforward. If you do have any questions, go ahead and email me. If you have a hard time uploading your paper, send me an email. I can email you a copy of it, and then you can go ahead and load that. I know some people type these on one computer, might not have it saved. But like I said, I do have your copies here. So if you have any questions, make sure you email me. And I do want to thank you guys for a great semester so far. I mean, everyone's having very good discussions, and you guys are posting some great thoughts. And I do appreciate all of your hard work. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. And thank you.